lot of things against him coming to Houston with first-year head coach, first-year play caller, and yet they've made it work.
I mean, the numbers are off the charts any way you want to look at them for CJ. He missed 2 games because of concussion, then came back last week. You see his touchdown to interception ratio leads the entire NFL, and his average pass yards per game is number 2 in the NFL to Tua Tagovailoa.
No, this is a big play offense, and the other part of that, Joe, is this is a rookie quarterback who's had to do it without much help in the run game. You know, so it's really their success offensively has come through the air.
And there's more to talk about that as Stroud, little play action to start. Good protection, airs it out for Collins. He's got it. 1 play, touchdown, Texans. 75 yards to start the night for number 7. And Nico Collins has been the big play man all year for the Texans, and right out of the gate on top they go.
Well, they knew on Thursday that this would be the first play of the game, and they go with max protection up front, and it's Nico Collins, and there's no disguise to what he's doing. It's just a foot race. He takes off on the deep post. It's rookie Juju Brents who's in coverage on him, and another perfect throw down the field by C.J. Stroud. He's been doing it all week or all year long.
You talk about a stunner and a crowd silencer. C.J. Stroud with the 400
deep post for Nico Collins on the outside, one-on-one on the rookie Juju Brents, and I mean, just a perfect read then by C.J. Stroud with time in the pocket, with the max protection. He's been one of the best deep ball throwers in the game this year. It's been really impressive to watch.
They're the first team to score on their first offensive play of the game this season, and they almost came away with an interception. Steven Nelson flashed in front of Alec Pierce, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, these corners, I really like them. And you think about the cornerstones that you mentioned the draft earlier and what they were able to do with Will Anderson and bringing him in. But a year ago, they brought in Derek Stingley, number 24 there, and he's an awfully good player. He's had a great sophomore season. And then opposite of him, Steven Nelson. I like both of those guys on the edge.
2nd down and 10. Will Anderson Jr. was in the medical tent. Here is a sack by Christian Harris, who's already off to a great start. And Anderson is out of the medical tent. He's been dealing with a high ankle sprain. And on 3rd down and long, he'll come on to rush the passer.
Yeah, you're going to see here comes Christian Harris, and he's just left unblocked. He's able to hit it. They run a little game up front, and nobody then there to pick him up. He's got a clean shot on Gardner Minshew. That's something they were unable to do in that week 2 game, was get to the quarterback. They did not have a sack in that game, but they got home there.
Coming off a 6-sack game against Tennessee in that win to set up this win and in situation. On 3rd down and 18, Taylor carries a gain of 9, and that'll be a 3-and-out for the Colts on their 2nd possession.
Yeah, and Shane Steichen at that point just running the football, just trying to, you know, really be conservative and not do anything too crazy at this point in the ball game, and try to play as much field position as you can.
Rigoberto Sanchez is into the game, with Desmond King waiting for the Texans. Sanchez hits a good one. Fair catch inside the 25. And Bobby Slowick, who is a fast rising assistant coach in the National Football League, realized that C.J. Stroud tonight in this win and in game is without 3 of his top 5 targets on the outside. They lost Tank Dell with a fractured left fibula in week 13. Robert Woods is inactive, as is Noah Brown here tonight. Here is Singletary again. 3rd down and short coming up. The defense coordinated by Gus Bradley. Really good up front. They have the 5th most sacks in the NFL, and 4 different players, the only team that can boast 4 with at least 7 sacks on their defense.
Yeah, they do it by committee, and the last time these teams played, this Colts defense had 6 sacks in that game, and they roughed C.J. Stroud up a lot. He was under pressure throughout that game, and one of the reasons why they opened up in max protection to take their shot.
Stroud's going to go and dive, pick up the first down.
It's such a great job by C.J. Stroud, because it's not something he really does a lot of. Typically, when you see him get outside the pocket, he's looking to throw, but he knows exactly what the situation is. He sees it open up, and he knows exactly where he needs to get to pick up that first down. That's an excellent job on his part.
First down with the ball at their own 35. That's caught. That's Collins, his 2nd catch, and this one not as dramatic or as exciting as the first one, a gain of 6.
Well, Nico Collins, I mean, it's been a breakout year for him in his 3rd season. He's had more catches this season than what he had his first 2 years combined. And I know in talking with Bobby Slowick, first-year offensive coordinator, as to Nico Collins' development this year, he just totally bought into the way that they were coaching and what he was being asked to do. Ben McDaniels, the wide receivers coach, also coached him in college, and he has had a great year.
Singletary brought down short of first down yardage. 3rd and short coming up again, as Alubi made the tackle, a gain of 3. And Bobby Slowick is on this constantly growing coaching tree with Mike Shanahan at the top, Kyle Shanahan right below, and then all these great assistants who have become head coaches themselves.
It's pretty crazy how successful the Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan tree has been. And the next in line is Bobby Slowick. He's done a good job with this group this year.
Good job by the Colts defense as they get a stop on 3rd and 1. Franklin and E.J. Speed, a loss of 1 to bring up 4th down.
Well, this offensive line for the Texans, they've got their hands full against this interior group by the Indianapolis Colts. That's where they're strongest, is inside, and they showed it there. They flex their muscle on 3rd down and short and force a punt.
That means that Cameron Johnston comes on with Josh Downs, the rookie. Typically, it's Isaiah McKenzie returning punts, but he's been suspended by the team for conduct detrimental to the team, and so he's not available. Johnston hits it end over end. So back to work is Gardner Minshew. Gain of 14 by DeAndre Houston Carson, and we'll get a Will Anderson update from Lisa.
Okay. Joe, you already mentioned that Will Anderson Jr. has been in and out of the medical tent. I'll give you the report after the snap.
Okay. First down with the ball at the 27. Pressure off the edge, and the pass incomplete for Pierce. Back to Lisa.
Yeah, Joe, you mentioned that Will Anderson Jr. had been in and out of the medical tent already since he came back on the field. No official designation, but he has been dealing with a right high ankle sprain. Told me he is not 100%. He missed a couple of games before coming back last week against the Titans. Played just 11 snaps in that game, but got 2 sacks. He said it would be the same this week. He would play a limited amount, mostly on passing downs.
Yeah, Lisa, in and out and back in there at the moment on 2nd and 10. They fake it to Taylor, and the pass is low and incomplete for the tight end Will Mallory. 3rd down and 10.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts, they run more RPOs than any team in the league, and you got him reading the linebacker here, and he's got the shot. And right now, I just think that Gardner Minshew is just a little flustered because the Texans have been able to get some pressure on him, and that was one you get it out in front of Mallory. He has an opportunity to make a play on the ball.
4 straight incompletions thrown by Minshew. Jalen Petrie showed that blitz early, and Minshew checks out of the play. Play clock at 0, and Minshew is going to air it out for Pierce and overthrow him, but a flag is down. And we'll get the call.
Holding, offense number 72. Penalty decline, result of the play, 4th down.
It's against Braden Smith, who is in his 2nd game back and really bothered by a bad knee. Guilty of a hold. It's 4th down.
I think you look at this Texans defense and some of the things that they're doing, playing a little bit more man coverage than what we've seen of them throughout the season, bringing a little bit more pressure as well, kind of mixing it up. D'Amico Ryans is.
Sanchez will punt it with King waiting. Averaging just under 12 yards per return so far this season. King from just outside the 20. Nice initial move and a good return. And decent starting field position for the Texans. With an offense coordinated by the man on the far left, Bobby Slowick. Here is just part of that tree, and young coaches, and I mean young, look at those faces, of the 2013 Washington staff. Slowick, Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Packers, Sean McVay, head coach of the Rams, Kyle Shanahan with a home field advantage with the top-seeded 49ers, and Mike McDaniel, the head coach, and just racking up yard after yard on offense with the Miami Dolphins. On 1st down, Stroud. Sideline, Schultz overthrown.
Well, he had a chance, but you go back to that to think that all of those young coaches were in prominent roles in Washington for head coach Mike Shanahan, and of course Kyle learning from him, and then him going on to the San Francisco 49ers, and a lot of those coaches then continuing with him. They've all learned from him, and the way in which they run their offenses, the way these receivers come off the ball, the spacing, how they tie it in with the run game, they all do it, and they've all been effective.
Quick throw, that's on the edge and caught by Nico Collins. He's got 12 yards and a 1st down.
Well, and speaking of Bobby Slowick, you look at this group, and I know, Joe, you talked about the fact that Tank Dell has been out for the last several weeks. Tonight they're without Robert Woods. They don't have Noah Brown. They've had lineup changes in the offensive line throughout the season, and yet, as a first-year play caller and a rookie quarterback, they've been successful. They're 10th in the league in offense. They've moved the ball. It's been impressive to see, and it hasn't been easy because of all the things he's had to overcome with injury.
Here's a handoff to Singletary, and not much. He got a yard. Slowick started with D'Amico Ryans as quality control coaches on the defensive side. He played receiver as a young man, but he got into this profession at the NFL level on the defensive side, and now he comes from a family of defensive coaches.
Yeah.
But now he is on the other side of the ball, and that's how he learned the other side.
And when he went to San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan, Shanahan told him that the best offensive coaches he knows know defense, and this was his best pass.
Here's Singletary. Nice cutback. 3rd down after a gain of 4.
Well, Singletary, you look at the year that he's been able to have. It started this offense with Dameon Pierce as more of the bell cow. But then Pierce missed some time, so they had to rely on Devin Singletary, and he took control of the position. And he's been the guy really ever since. He's put some good games together here over the last 4 weeks.
3rd down and 5. Should be a false start on their Pro Bowl left tackle, Tunsil.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Just named to his 4th Pro Bowl, traded from the Dolphins. All 4 Pro Bowls wearing a Texans uniform, but a guy playing with a bad groin, and he got a head start.
Yeah, he did not play in that Week 2 game against the Colts when they gave up 6 sacks, and he really is irreplaceable. One of the best left tackles in the game. He's outstanding in pass protection. He was going up against Ebukam on the opposite side and was just trying to get out with that speed that Ebukam has.
3rd and 10. Stroud underneath. Collins won't get it. Speed was there to make the stop for the Colts. A gain of 7. And there'll be extra time for D'Amico Ryans to decide what he wants to do, because we are at the end of quarter number 1. Ball is in Indy territory. What a start to this one. Colts put up 3, and in a blink, 75 yards from Stroud.
America runs on Duncan.
All right, we start the second quarter. It's 4th down and 3. The ball is at the 46 of the Colts. 7-3 game, and the look is the Texans are going to punt, but
well, I like this decision. I think the Houston Texans, their defense is playing so well right now. Gardner Minshew hasn't been able to really get it going just yet, that you would hate to not make it and then give the ball to the Colts here at midfield. But maybe if it was an offensive head coach, maybe you approach it a little bit differently, but not surprised by this call at all.
Johnston hits it end over end. It will check up and down inside the 5 at the 1 by D'Angelo Ross, and an absolutely perfect punt by Cameron Johnston.
Yeah, I'll say. You see his reaction. He liked it. This is outstanding.
And that's as good as it gets for punters in the National Football League.
That's as good as it gets. Yep, that's like throwing 4 touchdown passes, I'd imagine. Or 1 for that matter.
What do we have there, John Perry? Is somebody eligible? Did they just announce somebody's eligible?
Yeah, he brushed the front of his jersey.
Wait, what?
It's Josh Sills, 65.
You were still talking about that today.
Yeah, hopefully we're done with that.
Yeah, I agree.
There's 5 free yards.
Yeah, that's a good job. That's a really good job.
Tier Tart.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 97. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
And that's the benefit you have playing at home. So you're backed up. You can use hard count. And you get an easy 5 yards. You do not use hard count when you're going in to score, because you're not going to gain much if you use it inside the 5 as opposed to getting backed up. But when you're backed up the way they are inside their 5-yard line on their 1, that's a good job by Minshew.
1st down and 5. Taylor was losing his footing, dives forward for 3. So 2nd down and 2.
Well, they've gotten Taylor going. You know, here in the early going, he's running the football well. The issue for Indianapolis has been they just have not been able to sustain the drives because they can't convert once they get to 3rd down.
Already over 60 rush yards allowed tonight by the Texans. That's more than they've allowed in either of their past 2 games total. Meaning both games under 60 yards as they hand for the 1st down. So there you go. You want to get that initial 1st down backed up from the 1. And that 6-yard carry by Taylor gets a fresh set here early 2nd quarter.
Well, this is a Houston defense that has been really good this year against the run. Last year, it's the area where they've improved the most under D'Amico Ryans. Last year, they were the worst run defense in football. This year, they're 3rd best. And yet, Indianapolis, going back to when they played earlier in the season, they ran the football very well, and they are again here tonight.
Handoff on 1st down to Taylor. He is able to get 4. Taylor is a guy who's had a lot of success. 5 games against the Texans. His team is 4-0-1, and he's got 7 touchdowns from scrimmage, and he averages over 140 yards from scrimmage per game.
Well, he's just a heck of a player, and I know that things got off to a tough start for him, trying to get a contract done and the time that he's missed with injury. But right now, this is a defense for Texans that has given up a lot of big plays this year.
Here's Taylor on a screen. has some blocking, and he's about a yard short of a first down, knocked down by Perryman.
So now it sets up this third down. But what I was going to say, Joe, is the Colts, they've got Alec Pierce.